Dedicated, straightforward Seattle news coverage. KIRO-7 Eyewitness News starts right now.
Developing right now, the complete waterfront reveal just minutes away. From this to this and beyond, we're tracking what the future holds for generations to come. The public will be getting its first look at the plans about 30 minutes from now.
The KIRO-7's Essex Porter got a sneak peek and has already been talking to people about what they think. Essex.
And we found a lot of people out here along the waterfront because it's such a perfect spring day. Inside the cruise terminal behind me, they've set up a lot of chairs so people can come in and get their first look at these first ideas for what to do when the viaduct comes down. But we can show you the pictures now. We came to the waterfront to learn what local citizens want to see once the viaduct is torn down. And we gave them an advance look at one of the design ideas the rest of the city will see tonight, bringing back concerts to the waterfront.
I think that'd be great. I think this place needs something like that again.
One of the solutions designers want everyone to look at tonight is how to get from the Pike Place Market here all the way down to the waterfront, because right now all you have is a concrete corridor. Here's our first look at their first idea, a huge park that sort of folds its way down from Victor Steinbrook Park over Alaskan Way all the way to the waterfront.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Here's another idea people will get their first chance to see tonight, a new rocky beach for Pioneer Square. There's a plan to redo the terminal at Coleman Dock, including putting what designers are calling a sun lawn on top of the roof.
The waterfront's going to be a place for people and for families, and for we're envisioning new pathways for bicycles, runners, joggers, rollerbladers, walkers, strollers, new places to sit, have a picnic, meet friends.
And designer James Corner says this is not final at all. There's nothing final here. In fact, this is really part of the beginning of the listing process that'll go on for another year to 18 months. Not only will people be allowed to write down their comments this evening, but soon there'll be a website up where people can write their comments, and they'll continue to refine the designs based on what they hear. Reporting live in Seattle, Essex Porter, KIRO-7 Eyewitness News.
Well, now to this week-ending welcome warm-up. With temperatures finally stretching towards 70 and in some places zooming past it, it is finally the warmest day of the year. Local restaurants catering to an outdoor crowd are basking in both the sun and in the increased business. But for some sellers, this warm-up is a mixed blessing. KIRO-7's Allison Grandy reveals why in just a minute. But let's start with Chief Meteorologist Rebecca Stevenson in the KIRO-7 Weather Center. Rebecca, finally.
So far, our high temperatures today have climbed up into the upper 60s and some low 70s outside. 67 at SeaTac, 71 at Olympia with 66 at Bellingham. Very nice temperatures indeed. This is the warmest we've been all year, and now we're starting to see temperatures drop just by a degree or so from the highs. We're staying cooler on the coast where we've got some changes coming in for tomorrow. Tonight, normal low temperatures and clear skies. I'll show you how much warmer we're going to be tomorrow and what's going to happen coming up in our weekend forecast when the changes move in.
Talk to you then, Rebecca. Well, the nice weather has people enjoying the outdoors, many for the first time in months. KIRO-7's Allison Grandy says for some businesses, the sudden warmth is a mixed blessing.
These plants and flowers are loving this sunny weather. But for them and avid gardeners, this cold, wet spring has taken its toll. And it's also taken a toll on people who sell to gardeners.
Everybody I talk to, the sun just brightens the mood.
Janine Johnson can't wait to finally get tomatoes planted in her Ballard garden.
They'll go in today.
She joined crowds of shoppers at Swanson's nursery in Ballard today, eager to get their gardens going after months of cold and rain.
The sunshine and warm day temps are really going to help quite a bit.
Swanson General Manager Brad Seeby says good growing conditions are going to help his business as well. Business that's off by about 15% due to the miserable winter and spring. But now he faces a different problem. Local growers are struggling to supply enough plants because cold weather has delayed the growing season.
This year, the calendar's messed everybody up, from the growers back to even the consumers.
Just when those consumers are itching to buy.
Expect there'll be some shortages here and there on certain items, but again, patience is good.
Seeby says there's so much pent-up demand from frustrated gardeners, he expects a bumper crop of customers this weekend. Now he just hopes he'll have enough to sell to them. In Seattle, Allison Grandy, KIRO-7 Eyewitness News.
A developing story right now at the UW, where students who want the school to ditch its concessions contract with France-based Sodexo are staging multiple protests. They accuse the global food services giant of violating workers' rights. About 20 people right now are outside Athletic Director Scott Woodward's office and say they'll stay there as long as they can. 2 other groups are also demonstrating nearby. They tell us they are encouraged by Western Washington University's recent decision to dump Sodexo, and they're hoping to pressure the UW into doing the same.
Tonight, we're hearing firsthand about the challenges jurors faced as they handed down the first murder conviction in the killings of 4 Lakewood police officers. Just before noon, after more than 4 days of deliberation, they found the getaway driver, Dorcas Allen, guilty on 4 counts of first-degree murder. The 40-year-old Allen told reporters, quote, "You got what you want, but it ain't going to bring them back," end quote, as he was led from the courtroom in handcuffs. Allen was convicted of driving Maurice Clemens to and from a Parkland coffee shop in November of 2009, where he ambushed and murdered the officers. Pierce County prosecutor Mark Lindquist says the jury's decision was right, but the defense promises an immediate appeal.
The jury found that Mr. Allen was an accomplice, that he knew, but that he was not a major participant. But what matters is this: he's looking at a life sentence either way.
I think the verdict is wrong. I think an innocent man was convicted, and we'll appeal as soon as we possibly can.
What was wrong with the verdict then?
Everything.
Sentencing is scheduled for June 17th. Prosecutors say they'll ask for a life sentence. Even without that, they say Allen could face a prison term of more than 100 years for the murders. Now, after today's verdict, our South Sound reporter Kevin McCarty had a chance to talk with several jurors about the case and what it was like to spend nearly 5 days to reach those verdicts. Kevin joins us now live in Tacoma with a unique perspective from inside the jury room. Kevin?
Steve, I've been covering trials for years, had a lot of opportunities to talk with jurors, but I have rarely seen a group of jurors so affected by the emotional toll of a trial as we saw today. In fact, one of the jurors who asked us not to use his name says members of that jury actually became physically ill as they finally reached their verdicts.
My eyes are red, my stomach is upset. We had a juror vomit today.
For jurors deciding the fate of Maurice Clemens' getaway driver Dorcas Allen, the trial and lengthy deliberations were a difficult and emotional experience.
People got sick, people are crying. It was, like I said, for most people here, it was the toughest thing ever.
If I should get a summons again, I'm not going to show up because it's too stressful on me.
After nearly 5 days of tense deliberations, the jurors finally reached their guilty verdicts, 4 counts of first-degree murder. But jury foreperson Chrissy, who didn't want to give us her last name, says for a time she was not convinced the prosecution had proven its case.
Up until the final statements, I was leaning towards not guilty, not because I didn't think he was involved, but I wasn't convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. It was in the closing arguments when many points were finally pulled together.
All of the jurors say the facts of the case and the evidence they saw was tough to endure, especially crime scene photos showing the 4 dead officers ambushed and shot to death by Maurice Clemens inside a Parkland coffee shop.
To have the prosecution show those pictures more than once, I thought was above and beyond what was necessary. I'll never forget those.
A jury foreperson told me as of Monday, the jury was divided. 7 were voting guilty, 5 were undecided. We were told only 1 juror was decided leaning toward not guilty while they were in deliberations, but that juror was convinced to change that to guilty. They say they went over the police interviews, they very carefully went over the evidence, they went over the timelines, everything they could until they were convinced that Dorcas Allen was guilty. Live in Tacoma, Kevin McCarty, KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, for the first time, the mother of Kyron Horman is admitting publicly that she thinks the missing Portland 2nd grader is no longer alive. Kyron vanished from his elementary school last June. Despite exhaustive searches, investigators have found no trace of him and have never identified a suspect or person of interest in his disappearance. But Desiree Young blames Kyron's stepmother, Terry Horman.
I think that Terry, the way she felt and what she put in writing, I don't really see her letting him live.
Terry Horman has been questioned by police but never charged or identified as a suspect in any way.
New information now on the man who fired a gun on a Metro bus this afternoon. The bullet grazed another passenger near 3rd and Seneca in downtown Seattle. KIRO 7's Chris Lagueros has the man's name and some of his criminal history. Chris?
Live here at 3rd and Seneca because, Steve, this is where the bus stopped today after a gun was fired on board. We have learned that the suspect is 24-year-old David Dietrich, and take a look at this. Our assignment desk actually got a mugshot of him from the Department of Corrections and some court records revealing past crimes, which include convictions for burglary, theft, and drug charges. What did he allegedly do today? Well, eyewitnesses say he boarded a Metro 125 bus, taking a seat in back as it headed along 3rd Avenue downtown. And then fellow passengers heard a big boom.
Hear an incredibly loud bang. Nobody knew what it was. Maybe it was a firecracker, maybe it was a balloon. Get to this station, guy runs off the bus, lady in the back says that was a gunshot. That guy just, his gun went off.
A Seattle police detective showed us how that one shot left bullet holes in a bus panel next to the rear stairwell and in a rear door. They believe the bullet actually bounced and grazed the leg of a woman seated just a few feet away, but the wound was so superficial it didn't require any medical treatment. Dietrich was arrested in the bus tunnel by King County Transit deputies, and we are learning from sources now they believe that the shooting was accidental, that he didn't mean to target anyone. The man's now in jail. These court documents reveal that he was just arrested in the bus tunnel last November for attempted robbery and possessing drugs. Now, sources tell our KIRO-7 assignment desk that he was supposed to begin a 33-month sentence for those crimes beginning on May 16th, but that he failed to report to jail. He now faces additional charges for possessing a stolen gun, for even having a gun as a convicted felon, and for violating the conditions of his parole with the Department of Corrections. Reporting live in downtown Seattle, Chris Laguerre, KIRO-7 Eyewitness News.
Well, just as gas prices start to fall in Western Washington, we're learning of new taxes and fees that could send the cost of driving skyrocketing again. First at the pump, gas is going for $4.03 in the Seattle, Bellevue, Everett area. That's down 3 cents from last week, and it's down 4 cents in Tacoma to $3.99. But today, at a Senate hearing in the nation's capital, federal transportation officials talked about new gas taxes to help pay for crumbling highways, roads, and more. There are really two proposals, neither of which is a done deal, but one we hadn't heard of before. It would tax you based on how many miles you drive. Electronic equipment in your car would track your mileage, then process your payments at gas stations. It's all about finding new revenue. So many needed projects can get the go-ahead.
Without some kind of certainty, it is very difficult for transit agencies to decide to bite off and launch forward and make those major investments.
The second idea comes from a federal panel appointed by the White House. It thinks a 15-cent a gallon gas tax increase is the way to go. Both possibilities will likely figure into difficult deficit reduction talks.
You're talking about a number of very complicated pieces all being put together. It's going to take really a masterful negotiation on both sides.
The gas tax is politically very touchy. It hasn't been raised in about 20 years. Right now, the current gas tax helps foot the bill for nearly $170 billion a year that the U.S. spends on roads and transit.
Caught on camera, local crooks say that police say are no ordinary shoplifters. Ahead, the multi-million-dollar theft ring that also costs you plenty.
Their misfortune is our luck.
Abandoned treasures on the auction block.
$9.50 to bid now.
The local bidding was fast and furious, but the bargains? See if you'd pay what some of these folks did, new at 6.
Breaking news in your neighborhood never stops.
Never before seen video of the scene.
The dedication to bringing you the information you need is our everyday pursuit.
They're pushing everybody out, including us.
Our goal is to give you the perspective you want.
No justice, no peace.
More angles of the big stories that matter to you.
Blue cable, got it.
The most in-depth live coverage and the straightforward, reliable information you need to get you where you're going.
Breaking news tonight in Seattle.
Watch KIRO-7 Eyewitness News, dedicated, straightforward Seattle news coverage.
The deals are red hot during the Memorial Day sale at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Through Monday only, get store-wide savings. Plus 48 months, no interest with nothing down. Only at Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Watch this amazing demonstration and believe your eyes. That big mouth gutter system lets stuff in and can clog your gutters, causing extensive damage. Leaf filter lets only water in, no pine, no needles, no stuff. And it clears the next windy day. Leaf filter, clearly a better choice at keeping stuff out of your gutters. Leaf Filter, the better choice. Believe your eyes.
Savings and value is what Toyota does best. After all, Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line auto manufacturer in the industry. And we have the lowest ownership cost of any full-line car brand. Save big on Camry at 33 mpg. And now, during Toyota's national sales event, get a new 2011 Camry with 0% financing or $750 cash back. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
The deals are red hot during the Memorial Day sale at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Through Monday only, get store-wide savings. Plus 48 months, no interest with nothing down. Only at Ashley Furniture Home Store.
Snoqualmie Casino, where service is king.
High gold and silver prices help fill this Kenmore auction house as people try to cash in on property either forgotten or left behind in banks across the state. The Department of Revenue is just now wrapping up an auction of the contents of 3,000 safe deposit boxes. KIRO 7 Morning News anchor Chris Eggert shows us people spent 2 days hunting for bargains on precious metals, but many bidders walked away disappointed.
Start the bidding on this one, please. Now 700, 700, last call.
People's once treasured items tucked away in safe deposit boxes around Washington, now being sold off by the state's Unclaimed Property Division. Coin collector George Gruss was hoping to find a great deal, but all he really found was a bunch of people paying an estimated 30 to 40% over the current gold and silver prices.
There we go, number 41.
Plus, the auction house is cut.
You can go down into California, tax-free, get it for $200 to $225. So why pay that plus a 10% premium?
Gruss and other more seasoned metal and coin collectors chose to sit on the sidelines for most of the auction, as others bid away in person and online.
That's $650 on the internet.
It's been 3 years since the last auction. Turnout for the two-day event was terrific.
343. Well, it's actually a lot more than what we expected.
So 700 on the floor.
The rise of popular reality TV shows that highlight turning trash into treasure is another reason that the James G. Murphy auction house was busting at the seams.
Well, I know what we put in our safe deposit box, so I figure other people have to put their treasures too.
An estimated 3,000 items were up for grabs yesterday and today.
Last call now.
Money made will be held in a state fund if and when someone comes forward to claim it.
385. God bless you, sir. 385.
In Kenmore, Chris Eggert.
250.
KIRO 7 Eyewitness News.
No deal. Within the last hour, the state Senate turned away an effort to allow King County to extend the stadium tax. The measure failed by just one vote. Supporters had hoped to create new jobs by funding convention center expansion and other projects. But opponents argued the bill violated the trust and end date that voters were promised when that tax began.
Just in, Pierce County is closing its horse arena and barns at Frontier Park because of a potentially deadly horse virus now showing up in western Washington. And we've also learned 2 horses in Snohomish and Thurston counties are being treated for equine herpes virus 1. It can spread from horse to horse through direct contact from feed or even the clothes or hands of horse owners. It is not a threat to humans. And the Kitsap Sun is reporting that the virus will have an impact on Saturday's Armed Forces Day parade in Bremerton. The Kitsap County Sheriff's Posse has dropped out because of the highly contagious disease. Other cancellations are expected.
Tonight, we're learning the details surrounding the bust of an organized retail theft ring and the millions of dollars it's costing King County. 6 people are now charged with various crimes after a nearly 1-year investigation into 2 theft rings that have totaled more than $6 million in losses. In one case, owners of GMS Market in Greenwood allegedly used so-called boosters to rip off certain items, sometimes up to $1,000 a day.
It's finally happened. We've had 3 days in a row of sunshine around western Washington, and we're going to add a 4th to that. Now, right now, sunshine is what we've got in Bellingham. The temperatures today across western Washington have been in a range from upper 50s to mid 60s. Bellingham right now at 65 degrees. Now, this means at SeaTac, including today, the consecutive days of high temperatures below 70, we're now at 197. Now, the all-time record of consecutive days of high temperatures below 70 is 228, and that was set in in the year 2000. Well, we may not quite make that record this year because today the high at SeaTac was 67. Boeing Field right now is at 67. Northwesterlies 8 miles an hour. Olympia hit 71 today, 61 at Forks. We are either right at normal, for instance, to the coast today, or we're getting just above. So it's a pleasant day. 53 for Whidbey Island. Those westerly winds coming through the Strait of Juan de Fuca, keeping your temperatures moderated. East of the Cascades, it has been very nice here as well. Sunny skies. Wenatchee hit 73. This 51-degree temperature, that's for Stampede Pass. Now, what's happening? High pressure's built in. It's kept us nice and sunny, and now it's starting to slide directly over the area. Now, as it moves eastward tomorrow, we're going to get an increase of some high clouds as we have a little trough of low pressure just offshore. But we're still going to have Friday be the sunnier, warmer day of the week. However, that will even be though we get the clouds rolling in. So here's what we've got for the forecast. Tonight, expect mostly clear skies. Temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. We'll start out the morning at 40 in Tacoma, 39 for Olympia, and 44 in Everett. Then we'll get to the morning hours. Temperatures hovering right around that 50-degree mark for the most part under mostly clear skies. Winds will be lighter overnight, and in the morning hours they'll begin to shift to northwesterly, building in the afternoon up to about 10 miles an hour. Highs tomorrow are expected to be maybe a degree or so warmer, if not a few degrees warmer. Some spots will just have the same temperatures that they had today. So it's another nice day on the way. 71 expected at SeaTac. East of the Cascades, 77 for Wenatchee. Back to the west, cooler on the coast. The reason why is because low clouds are going to hover around the coastline as those winds shift back to onshore. In the Cascades, just mostly sunny skies, freezing level 8,000 feet. Our pass highs will be near that 60-degree mark. And the 5-day forecast, after a great Friday and a warm Friday, the weekend brings an onshore push, meaning marine air moves in. It will start the weekend out cloudier, and that will keep the temperatures a little bit cooler, mainly low to mid-60s. Saturday, we'll have a few light showers, especially coming up around the South Sound. Seattle may have a little bit of light drizzle. It's not going to be much at all. Sunday, we'll have a better chance of a few light rain showers. And then as we get into the first part of the week, we'll have a similar story. A little bit of drizzle. Temperatures just a little bit below normal, but we'll get back to normal Tuesday with drier weather. So it's not a washout at all for the weekend.
All right, Rebecca, thanks.
Just ahead, the trouble wildlife agents are having, putting this little local troublemaker back where he belongs.
I don't believe that the police officer told you, get in any way you can.
The window was open.
You can't do that. Minimally, it's trespassing. At most, it's burglary.
Next, Judge Judy. Watch tomorrow at 4 and 4:30 on KIRO-7. Chopper 7 brings you in-depth coverage of breaking news in your neighborhood at any time of the day. And the only chopper in the air every morning to prepare you for your commute. Watch KIRO-7 Eyewitness News, dedicated, straightforward Seattle news coverage.
The Count on Chevy event is here. Take the 42 mile per gallon show-stealing Cruise Eco. Or turn it up in a Malibu. 33 MPG, over 500 highway miles a tank. 2 of our 9 models over 30 MPG highway. Fuel up, rock on. Very well-qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on a Chevy Cruise Eco for around $159 a month. Fuel economy based on EPA estimates. Count on Chevy for more out of every mile.
Sure, pulling the mold, mildew, and grime from out of the porous caverns of grout takes the right tools, but it also takes a gentle, caring touch. Before you can deep clean, you learn to get a feel for its trouble spots. And hey, if you can't listen to grout, you can't truly know its wants, its needs, its dreams.
It's Titus Will's half-yearly sales event. Save now on all Fords, Toyotas, and Scions in stock. Don't miss out. Sale ends May 31st. Go to Titus Will now and save. Titus Will Ford Toyota Scion I-5 in Tacoma.
The time it takes to care for a loved one can often outweigh the time you can spend simply loving them. ResCare Home Care offers trusted, experienced in-home care for any need at any level. We can ease your responsibilities so you can spend more quality time with the ones you love. ResCare Home Care. Respect and care at home.
Will you marry me?
That's so cheesy.
The new breakfast-inspired double cheese tortilla scramble. Fluffy eggs, warm tortilla chips, and lots of gooey melted cheese. Served with all your favorites only at IHOP.
Don't you just love it?
I do.
It's never been more powerful. It's never been more fuel efficient. It's never been more BMW. The BMW 3 Series, the ultimate driving machine. Get financing as low as 1.9% on the most fuel-efficient 3 Series ever, until May 31st.
Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is now $16 million.
Have some breaking news now from the University of Washington, where 13 people have just been arrested at a student-based protest. We've been watching this now all afternoon. Students want the school to ditch its concessions contract with Sodexo, a France-based company, and they're staging multiple protests on campus. They accuse the global food services giant of violating workers' rights.
Well, this black bear was set to be released back into the wild just minutes ago after putting 2 Bothell schools on modified lockdown. It was finally captured late yesterday after a wild afternoon near North Shore Junior High and Woodmore Elementary. Wildlife agents wouldn't tell us where the bear was released today, only that snow from our lingering cold weather prevented them from getting to their usual spots higher up in the Cascades.
Expect plenty of company this year if you're traveling for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. AAA says nearly 35 million Americans will go 50 miles or more. That's up 2% from last year. The majority will drive, and they'll pay a lot more to get away. There's the higher cost of gas, of course, but the cost of lodging and rental cars are up as well.
Next tonight, see if something you're doing every day just landed on the list of the top 10 money wasters. We'll be right back.
You can carry a lot in a box. Your stories, your victories, your reputation. Ram Box. Lockable, sealable, durable. Only in a Ram truck.
With 0% APR, get up to $8,600 in total values on a Ram Box equipped Ram 1500 crew cab.
Ram.
He can hit anything, can he? Let's find out.
I thought he popped it up.
Minty.
You're welcome.
Mariners baseball, ready to play.
The 8-passenger Pilot. With the smallest turning radius in its class and 87 cubic feet of cargo space, it's only big on the inside. The Pilot.
For great leases and low financing, go to shophonda.com or see your Honda dealer.
In the Northwest, we count on the Chevy Silverado. We count on Silverado to pull up to 10,600 pounds. And we count on fuel economy that no other V8 full-size pickup can beat. Plus, you can always count on Silverado to be dependable. Backed for 40,000 more miles than Ford or Toyota. Now, combine offers on this Silverado All-Star Edition for a total value of up to $6,000. Available now for immediate delivery. See your Northwest Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com.
It's a beautiful feeling when you shop at Seattle Premium Outlets, in Tulalip, and North Bend Premium Outlets. You can have it all. Hundreds of legendary brands, abundant selection, and real savings of 25 to 65% every day. It's everything shopping should be. Seattle and North Bend Premium Outlets. Shop brilliantly.
Savings and value is what Toyota does best. After all, Toyota is the most fuel-efficient full-line auto manufacturer in the industry. And we have the lowest ownership cost of any full-line car brand. Save big on Sienna, the most dependable minivan. And now, during Toyota's national sales event, you can get any new 2011 Sienna with 2.9% financing. We're #1 for a reason. Come see for yourself. Hurry in for the best selection.
High cost of gas got you wanting to switch gears? Well, tomorrow is Bike to Work Day. What are called celebration stations will be set up throughout the Puget Sound region to help encourage drivers to give pedal power a try. This is video from the event 2 years ago. There'll also be free bike safety checks and a drawing to win a new bicycle.
For you, it might be a caffeine lifeline, but your daily Java fix is one of the top 10 money wasters. That's according to a new report by the editors of CNNmoney.com. They say the average person spends $8 every time they visit their favorite coffee shop. Also in the top 10, the ATM. If you don't use your own bank's machine, you know that you spend as much as $5 in fees. So if you do that 10 times a month, that's $600 a year. Then there's the lottery. But of course, if you win, that's not money wasted.
No, it's not. Just like we won today and are really going to win tomorrow.
Yes, and I think a lot of people are going to be on bikes going to work tomorrow because the weather's going to cooperate. We've got clear skies tonight. Temperatures will fall in the low to mid 40s. Waking up mostly sunny in the morning. Through the afternoon, expect some high clouds on the increase, but highs upper 60s to the low 70s. A great day. Cooler, cloudier with a bit of drizzle over the weekend. Not a washout.
Right, CBS Evening News is next.
We'll see you at 11.